This is a bill that was sponsored by Elizabeth Warren. It's called the Climate Risk Disclosure Act of 2018. And it shows why Elizabeth Warren is not qualified to be president of the United States. She's not even qualified to be a legislator. This is just a nonsense piece of legislation. Basically, what it does, it's a very long piece of legislation. You can see how long it is. This is all the requirements that she believes a business, an issuer of a security, has to report on. An issuer of a security is an institution that sells bonds or stock, etc., which I'm guessing, Apple Computer, you can buy stock in Apple Computer. So normally, when you buy a security like a bond, there's a financial risk. For example, there's a certain amount of oil in the world, and as the quantity goes down, the value goes up. And there's a risk. If you go to war, there's going to be a shortage of oil. That's an example of a risk. She's saying that climate change is a risk that affects all securities, not just oil, but maybe if you have to buy a cell phone from Apple. So some of the things are really ridiculous. Indirect emissions, greenhouse gases, um, increased severity of extreme weather events, flooding, sea level rise, ocean acidification, wildfires, arability of farmland, availability of fresh water. Does it make sense to you that Apple Computer, who might issue you stock, has to tell you how wildfire might impact the value of their stock? I mean, this is just nonsense. What they're doing is they're trying to make climate change. And I'm going to explain to you why the liberals are obsessed with climate change. The reason why is because liberals are anti-business and they're pro-government. Businesses pollute. Most climate change is because of business. It's because of production of electricity. It's because of motor vehicles. It's because of the combustion engine. Government in general is not responsible for the majority of climate change. It comes from business. So liberals are always attacking businesses. Conservatives are attacking government. What she's trying to do is make climate change an issue for all business. And when she does that, she will have power over all these businesses. The first thing you do is you identify the problem, and then you pass a bill making it so that they state what the problem is. And then you're going to pass a bill regulating it, saying, well, if you go over this amount, it's illegal. And then they're going to pass another bill saying, if it's illegal, you get fined. And then there's going to be another bill that says if you don't comply, you go to prison. That's the process for all of these bills. This is what basically Hitler did. I know you can say, oh, comparison to Hitler. I'm just going to explain to you, it's the same thing that Hitler did. First, Hitler said Jews are taking jobs away from Germans. That's what he said. And then he said, we're going to identify who is Jewish and we're going to mark them with a star. Their businesses and them as a people. And then after that went on, they told them the Russians are coming. You have to leave your homes. We'll put you in a concentration camp. It's just one step after the other. You first have the problem. You pin the problem on the party you're going after. You mark them. You try to get them to believe that they did something wrong, and then you pass the punishment laws, and then you've completed the process of defeating the enemy. That's what they're doing. So first they have to pass the law, making climate change an issue. They're going to do the same with racism, with sexism, etc. Can you read all of this? Businesses have to comply with this. Land use changes, directly vented emissions. Why would anybody care about this? Flared hydrocarbons. This really is not an issue that if you want to buy gold, why should you have to care about any of this stuff? Climate change does not have a direct impact on everything. The fact remains is that the sea level water has risen like 2 inches in the last 50 years, and the global temperature has risen in the last 50 years by like 0.4 degrees. It hasn't, what has it done that concerned any buyer of a security? Absolutely nothing. This is such a long-term impact that the businesses will be out of business by the time that climate change impacts the security. That's the problem with this bill. It's just a power grab. It's a power grab of a socialist who's trying to overly regulate a business with the intention of creating a situation where they can fine those businesses to get money. It's a form of taxation, saying that you did something illegal, but first you have to make it illegal. That's what they're doing when they pass these bills. So waste, it's not solving a problem. Have you heard of one person say that I got cheated out of a security because the climate changed? The climate changes every day. At noon, it's 100 degrees outside, and at night, it's 40 degrees. The climate changes every day, all day long.